Critters in Taiwan.
Huh. Linda's birthday too. Does it? I don't know if I've ever seen it.
Yep, there it is. Birthday reminders. Timothy Tucker.
Oh shit.
Yep.
Yeah, because I turned it off on Facebook. Yeah, it was good. It's a Tuesday night, so not too late.
Yeah.
But just down the street here, the band boys came, and then some Taiwanese friends, and then the lady I met on Saturday, she came out as well.
Great.
Yeah, we just drank. I took the morning off work today, and then stayed up late, slept in, went to work, did nothing, and then came home.
That's good. How are things going at work? You still getting?
Yeah, I'm re-signing. It was just a.
That's good.
Yeah. Re-signing just. I still don't even know what the problem was, and it's common at the place, but.
Right. It's kind of common everywhere you go. I wouldn't worry too much about that.
Yeah. Hey, we're on, bud.
Hey, are we on the internets?
Yeah, we are.
Hey, right on. I'm in a new place with some new internets.
Looks all different.
Hey, welcome to Critters in Taiwan, a D&D podcast about Critical Role, where a bunch of nerdy-ass voice actors sit around and play Dungeons and Dragons. I am Ben in a new apartment in Kaohsiung.
With that beautiful green screen image of the fuzzy couches in the back.
Yeah. I suppose I don't have to blur the image, but it's kind of messy, so I'll keep it blurred for a little while.
Up to you. And I'm Tim and where am I? Taichung.
Yes.
I almost said Taiwan.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, listen, man, I drove halfway to my old apartment on the way home today. Before I realized, I'm like, oh, you dummy. Finally happened.
I don't know if I've done that before.
It's the first time I think I've ever done it. I think. Maybe not. But yeah, moving sucks. Don't do it. It's not fun.
It sure does,
The whole moving process is quick and painless if you hire movers, which I did. But the actual unboxing and unpacking and moving in part, making it livable, that's annoying. That's the tough part. Anyway, enough about my pains. Hey, tonight we're talking about Campaign 3, episode number 55, Hope Within History.
One more time, a little closer there.
Hope Within History.
Hope Within...
History.
History?
Yeah, history. Hope Within History.
Uh-oh, you just lost a lot of sound there. Bear with us. New place, new setup.
Playing with technology here. Maybe I shouldn't be adjusting things. Check.
Might be a cable thing, man.
Can you hear me? Could be.
Got you. Yeah, I got you pretty good. Sorry, I didn't get that title.
Okay, it's all good.
Hope.
New setup. I told you before, it's the ghost in the machine, man. You move stuff around, you move every time. Yeah. Something goes wrong for whatever reason.
Yeah, we'll have to try it out another time, but it looks like the levels are fine. You might be a little bit on the loud side for the levels, but I don't know. It'll take a little time. Bear with us.
All good.
We'll be
while we're talking about stuff, I'd like to talk about what happened on Saturday. I woke up Saturday and remembered that Creator Clash 2 was on.
Oh, right.
And I watched it live. I watched some of the first fights, and then I was like, oh no, these guys are terrible.
Where was it live?
It was live on. I paid for it.
Oh, it was like a. Oh, right, of course.
Yeah, it was a pay-per-view, and I definitely
paid for it.
Definitely.
Look at me when he says that, not him.
I did watch it. It was interesting. It's for charity, and these are amateur. These are content creators. Like these are YouTuber personalities and Instagrammers and whoever else those people are. But I did stick around and I watched Marisha's fight, and it was she went the full 5 rounds. Yeah, 5 rounds. It went 5 full rounds, and it was very interesting. 3 rounds? I think it went 5 rounds. I forget, but she definitely survived. Yeah, I think most people know what happened. She looked very nervous the first couple of rounds and very tentative, and then realized once she was getting her butt kicked, it became very much about clinching and moving around to avoiding getting punched more. But she busted the other girl's nose open. That was kind of cool.
The only thing I know about this creator clash, not critter
Yep.
clash, right?
No,
Creator clash.
Yes.
Is just I've only heard twice that Marisha was going to be boxing somebody.
Yes.
That's all I heard. I don't know if there were any other people.
It was it's for charity. Everything is for charity. You get to choose your own charity, and then the money goes towards that. Win or lose, or draw, doesn't matter. But and they chose the Critical Role Foundation, obviously. Sure. And then she boxed. They're wearing the big gloves too, not even the normal. No
headgear. Huh?
No headgear. That surprised me.
What was her hair like?
She braid, tight weave. Yeah, not braids, not cornrows or anything, but it was a tight little thing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then and she got her butt kicked. They had a fun entry. Travis followed her in with a giant sword. It was very weird. He had a big cowl and this huge broadsword that they did this presentation with. It was neat. It was kind of neat.
I'm gonna have to check it out. I'm gonna have to go totally pay for it after this.
Totally pay for it.
Yeah, I forgot that was on this weekend.
But that was just something I wanted to throw out there that was kind of fun and interesting to watch about Critical Role content related.
Yeah, hey, that's what we do, isn't it?
Fun to watch.
About episode 55, there's 55. A ton of lore, lots of information about
much lore.
Some characters, a few things. We get a few things here. You want to jump right into Rollies, get some of these points?
I got one quick little note about before it. I just happened to watch the intro. They changed the intro, and I didn't even notice. I don't know if you noticed, but the ending of the intro has new characters in it. It's got.
I expected that to change quite a bit.
Yeah, Deanna and Frida are at the ending. When he's opening the book, and there's the boop 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 boop. Yeah, that thing. And then there was another. I think Imogen's mom is the other one. So there's like Deanna, Frida, and then Imogen's mom, Liliana, or whatever her name is.
Oh, just as the characters that pop in.
The only three that pop up, because it used to be like Esteros and a couple of others that would pop in, and now they're all gone, and it's Deanna, Frida. I went back. I was like, when did they change it? It's actually they changed it in episode 53, which makes sense. That's the episode after Deanna and Frida joined.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. No, just gonna. But let's get right into Rollies.
Okay, where to put my fucking Rollies? All right, here we go.
Right. Let's go. Sorry if it's a little dark in here. I don't have lights yet.
New place, new setup. I got an 11.
I got a 6.
Oh boy. Okay, so I look over this thing. We had a lot of information come through, especially about Mr. Ludinus.
Yeah, man.
A lot about that guy. I'm wondering if that's where I want to start.
Good place.
It's a good place to start. So, okay. I guess I'll double check with you. This is what I understood from what that person who gave them the information was. So Ludinus started, or allegedly, according to them, they think that he started some shit in some city, right?
Malaysmere, yeah.
Yeah, Malaysmore? I thought this was back in. Okay. And then where some people were hurt, like innocent people, and then a few people died as well. Yep. And then he got mainly credited for stopping this assault in the city.
Oh, that was the what was that? That was the night
assembly.
Of the. I wrote this. I wrote it down. The night of the the murder moon or the red moon something.
And then used his influence to get the king to approve the creation of the Cerberus assembly with him at the helm.
That's right.
Right?
Yep.
So, all right. So, and they were all like, yeah, he fucking did it. Of course he did. So did I...
Set it, you mean he instigate or he set that up so that he could set up the Cerberus?
Seems that way. I agree with that.
Bait and switch kind of thing? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, probably.
He's smart enough. I don't know how long he's been alive, but...
Well, the king was talking about King Imathan Talviel. He was talking about how Ludinus was a mage of note in Malaysmere before it was destroyed, right? Because it was Malaysmere survived the 100 years of fire after the cataclysm, and the city survived, but it was whatever. But there was this a powerful natural magic font under the city, and that exploded, came out, erupted somehow, and then when Maleasmere was destroyed and the Savalier wood became corrupted,
Same time.
he fled. That's when he fled to the Empire and went into Rexentrum, and
Okay.
then rose to power in that night of murder, red something,
He's
blood.
like, how can I rise to power? All right,
Yeah.
let's start some shit and end it.
Start some shit that
Give me
definitely-
something to be a hero about.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
It was funny all the thoughts that Imogen was reading about the king, and it was like, yeah, this figures, this makes sense. So it tracks all of that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it was just pretty implied,
Mm-hmm.
even by Matthew, even though he just like kind of stone-faced said it, but he also said it just like, here's what they know, and you can probably infer what's, what fucking
Right.
Ludinus did, right?
Right.
And then he also, I'm going to tack it on here because it's right
for it.
there. He, according to the books, said that he got credit for ending, he said, or it didn't say preventing, the war from Campaign 2? The one that was,
Yeah, the war between the dynasty and the empire.
the Ash and something, whatever it was,
Oh yeah, whatever they
the
called
Ash
it.
and
Yeah,
something
yeah.
war.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, so they're all sitting at the table, like, oh, he gets the credit. Huh?
Oh, he gets the credit. Yeah.
I loved how Matt said it. He's like, yep. And he's written down here for getting credit for, he said ending, not preventing, but I don't know if
Yeah,
that was just a
ending.
slip. Because they didn't really, I guess they started kind of.
Well, they engaged in peace talks, right? And then when they returned the
I guess there were
beacon-
a few.
Yeah, they met on the ships, right?
Sieges.
On the ships down by Nicodranus somewhere, or halfway there, or something like that.
Yeah.
Out in the ocean, the Lucidian Ocean.
Neutral
Neutral
terrain.
ground. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, interesting stuff. A lot of lore dump for him, and that's some Tolkien-esque stuff, right? Again, I've said this multiple times, but this is like the Silmarillion thing, where you start learning. You read The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and then the Silmarillion comes out after that, explaining where all these people came from, and that's sort of what Matt has created here. Is like these layers and layers and layers of backstory, and you wonder. Well, I wonder if he had created all of this stuff before any of this came out. Like if he's creating it on the fly, or if he's already written this stuff all out, and he's like, oh, okay, now they're getting to the point where they're going to need to know that. I need to go back and grab those notes that I wrote 5 years ago, pull them out, and say, okay, this is where. Or if the skeleton wrote them out and then fleshed them out after that.
Yeah,
I'd love to know that writing process. It'd be amazing to pick.
Yeah, I
that
wonder
out.
how much of a secret that is, It's like how people write. I always thought like with George Martin when he was writing the Song of Ice and Fire in the early seasons, that he was
Yeah, the
sitting
early
down with
ones.
dice, I think
Yeah.
we've talked about that before.
Yes, absolutely.
Just like let the dice tell the story. So he's playing a game and he's like, oh shit, this person's gonna die now? Like, oh fuck.
Okay.
And like
All right.
it's
So
not
be it.
him killing him, it's the dice,
Yep.
that'd
Well,
be
so the story goes. Still no idea if that's actually true or not, because that just gives him sort of, hey man, I didn't do it.
Yeah,
I didn't kill off your beloved Ned
fake
Stark.
amnesty.
Yeah.
Yeah, he still set the setting and now he's putting it's like, oh, disadvantage. Oh, he's dead. Okay. But
I'm
if I was
gonna-
writing a story, I would go ahead and let dice tell it sometimes.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and yes, end that. While they're talking with the king and the queen, they start realizing everyone's been cut off, right? They can't send out messages or sending spells. They sent out all these people who can teleport, but they don't know what's happened to them. They may come back, may not come back. We don't know. And then we find out that all of the fallen can't be revivified.
Yep.
This is a big one, yeah? And I got a question for you about this. I got a couple of questions. Number one, we know that they can't, but why? I got a bunch of questions for this one. Why can't they revivify?
Something to do with gods, man.
Okay,
Losing
so
divinity or
who-
something, right?
I'm playing around with my backgrounds. I'm getting real blue here. There we go. That's a little better. That's very purpley. Sorry, lighting is going to be weird. I give up. Okay, so it's something about divinity, right? We don't know what that is. Why can't FCG revivify?
severing of it.
Right. But why can't FCG revivify? Who's his god?
Got to be tied in somehow with Aor
Where-
or something, you know?
Where is his divinity coming from? Like where is the divine magic, quote unquote
From
divine
some
magic?
source in Aor where it comes from, you know? Like,
Sure. I want to see him revivify. I want to see him try.
this thing needs to be
He did try a sending spell, but I'm gonna say that the sending stuff, the sending spell that he tried didn't work. But I'm gonna say that's because of the Applebee Soul Cycle.
yeah.
So he doesn't have a god, right? So why can't he revivify? And then my next question is, what about resurrection or raise dead?
I mean, like, what?
We don't
Loopholes.
know, right? Right, loopholes. So okay, so
Loopholes
I'm
and
sure
runarounds.
if Matt's playing this game, he's thought about all of these things. But here is the big question: is this because of Vax?
Oh.
Is this because the matron of ravens, who controls life and death, has lost her champion, who had the sliver, what Ludinus called the sliver of divinity, and because he is now being, don't know, is that why that they can't do any of this magic anymore? Because the Raven Queen's champion controls that aspect of on this side of the divine gate.
Well, I mean, things can still die,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So
So their souls go.
it's like God of War when the Valkyries were gone. Nobody was going to hell or wherever,
Right.
you know, in that mythology.
Right.
It's like without the Valkyries, then they're just got a bunch of souls walking around.
Souls just sort of wandering around. So when these people are dying, where are their souls going?
Right.
Are they going to the gods? Like, are the gods still collecting those souls? Like, or is are they? And then if so, why can't they be brought back? Are those
That's what I don't get.
and on that same note, what about the beacons? Because the dynasty beacons are,
Oh,
they recycle souls. They once you've been what was the word, the consecuted.
Consecution.
Yeah. Once you've been consecuted, you just have to be within nearby a certain radius of a beacon, and then your soul will be transported into a newborn when it's available.
How would that be affected?
I don't know.
Huh.
I went through all of these questions when I wrote them all down. I'm like, well, what about this? What about that? What about this? What about that? I'm sure Matt's got all the answers for that, but I want to know them.
There's probably something huge going on somewhere. They just can't see it right now because every place has their own shit right now. You know, the place they just ended up at here, well, they had that defender, that comes to life. The enchantment's broke, and it's like, oh shit, so let's fix that. But what else is going on out there?
Right.
It's like the world of ruin in Final Fantasy VI. Just every city's got an issue.
Yeah, and is it all tied to Ruidus? Is it all because Ruidus is being what we learned is probably being tethered to this whatever that Malleus key is? It's being tethered there and not able to move around anymore, and so
lazy girl.
You can see that. I'm gonna unblur my background. There's no point in me having it blurred. How do I do that? Change this one. And
Just off frame.
Oh.
She's just off frame on the broadcast. I can see her. She's right there.
I moved her little bed into the living room, so she loves it. She's very happy there. Okay, yeah. So those are my questions. I don't know the answer to them, and I want to know the answer.
Get those questions out in the ether. I don't know the answers either. Hey, that kind of rhymed.
Either.
And where was that place they said where like when was it Malayasmere or was it the Caduceus forest? The Savalier Wood.
It's the same thing.
There's like a
Malayasmere was the city in the Savalier Wood.
In the Savalier Wood.
Yeah, I don't think it was called the Savalier Wood. Names are tricky here because I think it's currently called the Savalier Wood, and I think it was called Malayasmere before that. And I think the city in Malayasmere was also called Malayasmere.
Okay, I'm a little confused about these things.
I know. It's just names, right?
It's like talking about Atlantis or
but
the Mayan Incans or whatever. Those
right. It's currently called the Savalier Wood. And it was under the king. The king said, under Ruidus, a storm of toxic shadow engulfed the city and mutated everything. And then they asked him if it was during an apogee solstice, and he says probably.
Yeah.
He says, yeah, I think it was. So again, like all of these things are sort of tying together, right? So, yeah.
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah, there's so much information here. It raised all
So
kinds
much.
of questions.
So much.
Let's get another roll in there, bud.
Rollies, let's do it.
Hey, with a 9.
Natural one.
Still no. There's no way to. It's just a rolly. Kind of tethered to what you were saying there before. With I don't remember who she was talking with because there's so many names, and I was thinking about other things. But they asked Deanna, did you lose your connection or something with your god? And she was like, no. And he's like, roll deception,
Yeah,
and she did well.
interesting.
And then the other person said, oh, you're one of the lucky ones.
Yeah.
Now, that means that person might be aware of some people who still have their abilities.
Yeah. Well, it means both, right? It means that some people have completely been cut off by the gods or the Dawn Father, Sunny D, or and other ones are still able to. So, yeah. I don't know what any of this means. I like the analogy that Deanna sort of said, or Bria said, about how they're not gone, they're just withdrawn. No, that wasn't her.
Or
that was the matron when they went to the Raven Queen's temple. That priest of the Raven Queen. I wrote it down. If I can find it here.
You wrote down a name?
No, I just wrote down what they said. Right. She said, the matron remains, but her thoughts are distant.
Right.
So it's like this idea that they are still there and they are still paying attention, but they are piling up sandbags, barring the doors,
right,
setting up walls,
getting prepared for their own catastrophe.
Yeah, the Predathos is coming. I think they're aware.
It's like when shit hits the fan and your dogs don't know what the hell you're doing, but you're flipping around, boarding up the windows.
That's right.
You're like, dude, what's up? What's up? It's like, I got this. That sounds like a good analogy. I mean, yeah, they're just busy with their own shit. Everything seems to be fucked up right now. So, yeah, and I think Matthew's just sitting on he's watching a timer and big things are happening, and when he's just different arrivals at different places, just leveled, and
I said this ad nauseum last week. It feels like they're just going through side quest after side quest after side quest, doing all of this stuff while so much is happening in the background.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit of a dick. I'm going to just say it's a little bit of a dick move because he's removed all of their ability to actually do anything about it. So it feels like this is kind of by design, right? He's kind of said oh no, sorry, hey, do whatever you want, but guess what you can't do. Yeah,
and also
it's real. It isn't. I will say this though. That is a big trope in D&D. Like whenever you do a adventure path, like a pre-written adventure where the DM has it already given to them and then just fleshes it out. It's very much, and it's not railroaded, but because you can sort of do whatever you want. But there are many things you can't do. You can't go here, you can't go there. Either you're not ready for it, or you're whatever. So that is sort of a trope in D&D where it's which something that Vox Machina never really experienced, and to an extent, the Mighty Nine never really experienced. They were sort of able to do whatever. Bell's Hells, very much. This campaign 3 is sort of, Matt has kind of reined things in a little bit, and that's normal. Maybe not so normal for this table, but it is really normal for D&D.
Well, it makes sense that they're such low level at such a catastrophic time too,
Yeah.
So much big shit is happening, but they're still just level 8. Like big shit they were level 7, 8, 9, and everyone else, they're playing with 20, level 20 characters.
Totally. Totally.
Yeah. It's an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, speaking of interesting dynamics, I guess it's my turn.
Yeah.
I'll just say, hey man, we got this is just a general comment. We got our first romance of campaign 3 with man, Christian Navarro is not fucking around. He's got a list and he's checking them all off. And kudos to him, man. As a guest, why not?
Yep.
Get them all. You know, it's like just got to catch them all. But the fact that he sort of instigated this weird thing with FCG, where he outside of Jacoby's,
Yeah.
and then as they're having this conversation in front of the door, he full on like just cheek kisses, but it's still a kiss, a romantic sort of a little thing, and then as they go inside and we get this thing where we find out what FCG really stands for, where it's faithful caregiver. The fucking, I don't know, did you watch that? Did you watch the table reaction?
A little bit. I was at work. It was pretty far away.
The reactions were amazing. Chat exploded. Like I watched the chat reaction and it was a blur. You couldn't even read it. But everyone's reaction was at the table was incredible.
I'll have to go back and watch that. And
it's really good. It's really good. Like Travis's jaw dropped. He's just like,
oh yeah, because it was and this little faceplate thing that
where
you've never felt come off before. Yeah,
right.
Like,
and then inside of it, there it is, faithful caregiver. And like they ask, I think. Laura asked and said, "Was that you?
Yeah,
or was that Matt? Was that you?" And then and Sam was just like, come on, man." And he even says, "No, that was all Matt." When they go to the break, he's like, "Oh, it was all Matt Mercer." And I'm curious about that. I wonder. Matt was sort of like, you know. It feels like it's a little bit of both. It's got to be a little bit of both, right? It's got to be. It's one of those. You don't.
I believe it could just be Matt, you know. I mean, because it kind of maybe potentially reveals, it gives you some things to think about, like how he was a Trojan murder bot, but then he was actually inscribed with this. That's his actual purpose.
And so he knows. That's the problem that I have with all of this. He knows he's FCG. Right. So how does he know that? If he doesn't know faithful caregiver, how does he know FCG?
Right. And what about the other robot that was just, PUSSY? I mean,
personal under.
Oh, they were back.
Personal under secretary. No, personal under scribe. Suck you.
Suck.
Who
knows?
I got nothing.
Or maybe it was just P.
You know? Could have been.
And they made they're like, all right, we're gonna go with smells. Here we go. All right.
Right. Or maybe an FCG in his trauma after murdering everybody short-circuited and made up all of these things, but he really did know that it was faithful caregiver, but he just made up a new acronym because trauma. I don't know.
Maybe there was no dancer in Pussy.
You watching Ted Lasso?
Watching. I got through the first 2 seasons.
Okay, so he's got his own. He's this. That's sort of where Sam got modeled the sort of the attitude and the shucks, that
Ted
sort of a thing is from sort of Jason Sudeikis's character. But I wonder if he also took a little bit of Ted Lasso's got some trauma and some demons that he deals with as well, right? I wonder if Sam took a little bit of that as well. He's like, no, I'm a therapy bot. I'll do all these things, but he also needs a shit ton of therapy as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's
stuff,
It's one of those, also another common trope, the psychiatrist or whatever, they're the ones who need the help the most, the happy person's actually the crazy one,
100%.
It's pretty common.
Let's do some rollies.
All right, we're back to rollies.
I don't got a ton more to say about this episode. I got a few more things.
All right, I can get through some of these pretty quick.
Jesus.
7.
Another natural 1.
Wow. We're just going at it.
Wow.
I'm going to go through these pretty quickly.
Not doing good.
Speaking of chat and Christian doing such a great job, he's calling FCG a he, like every time. And I don't have chat on when I'm watching this. And I'm like, chat's got it. Like, how are they accepting this? Even Abria does it a couple of times.
They don't pay attention to that. Nobody does.
No? Okay.
If you remember way back at the beginning, Sam did say, yeah, he is fine. You can call, he goes by he or they.
Oh, okay.
Pronouns,
He they?
preferred pronouns. He, they.
Oh.
I think Ashton said something similar as well. Ashton said, yeah, you can go by he or they as well.
Yeah, I think they just, don't want to, shouldn't be an issue at the table, right?
No.
But,
no.
I was curious if chat would be like, he's not quite getting it right, because the table's pretty good at, they, like, what do they want to do, It's a little confusing at times. I'm like, who are they talking? Oh, that's right, that character. Yeah. But I caught it a lot, and I'm just wondering how chat would have reacted to that. So they just kind of let it go?
Yeah, I didn't see anybody correcting or doing anything like that, any actual...
Maybe it was just me, but I was like, ooh, he got the name of, Hell's Bells wrong, It's like, ooh, we did it like twice at that some whatever those things are. Right. And I'm like, okay, now he's got a chance to redeem himself, and he's doing a great job. And then he's like, oh, now he's kind of like misgendering one of the characters. I'm like, oh, I wonder if they're jumping on his ass about it. I'm like, oh, you ruined your chance, bro.
Totally.
So that's it for that one.
Okay, cool. I got not related at all, but here's another point. So there's a big section of the after the break stuff where they go shopping at this Caitlin's place, the Royal Tailor, where whatever.
Oh, at the second half, yeah.
The second half when they go shopping. So they all get different things. That Chetney's the tracksuit mafia stuff was amazing. Can't wait for the art. There's gonna be some great art for this episode. It'll be fun to watch. It sort of made me think they're going to meet up with the other half, right? The AOL group.
We presume.
We presume, nothing's for certain, but
they could die on their lead-in.
I'm sure I said last week, I think that it's going to be a couple more episodes. I'm going to take that back. Marisha's face looked pretty bad, and I'm after this boxing match, I don't think she's going to come back on camera for a while. So it might be a few more episodes of this group.
Oh, is that why he split the party? He
very well could be.
These are all
not my theory. This has been brought up in chat and in other social medias. But anyway, my point is, they're going to come in. The other group is going to come in, and they're going to see them all. FCG's got that new plate mail, so he's all like shiny and all done up. They've all got brand new outfits. They've all sort of not leveled up, but metaphorically have leveled up. They've prettied up for sure. Yeah. And a bunch of stuff has happened. Fancied up. That's a great way to look at it. So what's going to happen with the other group? They're clearly going to have to do the same thing, but how and where? I mean, I know these are all sort of like,
maybe they're really fucked up in a fucked up situation, like in the Savalier Wood, and they're stuck somewhere. They didn't get all fancied.
It made me think about it, right? Because they did pick up some black negligee thingy for Laudna, and I'm like, right. So what's the other group going to look like? What's their whole deal going to be? Are they going to get the same sort of treatment? Because theoretically, they're all watching this as it's happening. Like the cast is all in the back room because we know they are because they're all there for the announcements, and then they leave the table and the guests come in. So they're there in the back room, in the green room, watching all of this. So they know what's going on. It got me thinking, I'm like, they're going to do their own little adventure, their own little journey. Or unless you think they're filming? No, they couldn't be. They couldn't be filming all of this concurrently.
I don't know.
That'd be weird.
It's just really up to them when they put them out, right?
Yeah, sure.
They might have a bank of it, but they can't go too far in the future because what if Marisha has a boxing match and then, she's all of a sudden showing up on screen without her bruises?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like all of this stuff is, it's all conjecture. We don't know.
Yeah, and I'm excited to find out. I miss those characters.
Incredibly excited to find out. I want to know what they're doing.
Because we've got, we think that they're in Comorta, and then
or somewhere nearby.
somewhere with
right?
geothermic activity, right?
Yep.
And then we got to find out how, or we're going to find out how they're going to meet up again somewhere. And I'm guessing it has to be around Malay's Mere or the Savalier Wood, you know, because I don't think it's going to go much beyond that unless they have to, for Marisha to not have to wear too much makeup.
What a weird idea for them to actually go to Malaya's Mere and go and try and find out what exactly. Like, I didn't even really understand that. Like, why? Why would you want to go there? Why would you want to go to the corrupt place?
Yeah, good point. I don't remember why they decided to.
They wanted to go find out more about Ludinus. They want to find out about his background, and it's that was the whole reason why. And I'm like, yeah, but what does that mean? Like,
find out what happened with this solstice
guess,
and why things are still alive. Are the gods coming back? What can we save? I guess they're just looking for information, right?
Anything. They're just trying to get, because they can't get back to Marquette. There's nobody there to sort of transport them or teleport them. They don't have any way back. So, yeah, weird. Oh, it's funny when that gnome comes in and goes, "Yeah, Rudis hasn't returned, and Rudis hasn't been seen in the sky, and the aurora should have been gone by now." I'm like, "Oh fuck, is this forever? Is this a perpetual Applebee soul cycle now? Is that what they're dealing with?"
I mean, that's kind of what they said. I've got a little thing here about that. It's just like the solstice is in stasis. And it made me think, did they freeze time? Like, you're getting sucked into a black hole.
Well, is that what the beacon was for, right? Is that why they put the beacon into the Malleus key, because they needed dunamancy to
There's a theory.
The time thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's dunamancy. Yeah.
The dudamancy.
Dudamancy.
Rollies?
Yeah, a couple minor things, really. Sir, let's get a little roll in there.
I got a 4.
13.
Killing me tonight, bud.
Am I running the board?
You are.
Man.
I got like one more. That's about it.
All right.
Maybe two.
So I'm thinking, from the interaction between Deanna and Frida and everybody else, that they are going to become NPCs, it seems. I mean, because they can't just stay at the table, but they're like, well, we want to help you. So it's like they're kind of like, are they going to have NPC party members at the table, like...
Yeah, possibly.
Like where Matt just does their impressions and rolls initiative for them and shit like that,
Could be.
It seems like, unless something happens to them, railroaded.
Yeah, well, I have a little theory about what's going to happen is that their exit strategy is they do decide to go back to Aor. Because remember, they keep talking about how that's how they met them, right? They were coming, they had tried to go to Aor and got to Isocross and realized it was too fucking dangerous, and there were way too many dark Kryn soldiers. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, nope, too dangerous. And they turned around, and that's where they met this party,
right,
and joined them. My theory is they're going to be like, okay, well, I think we're sufficiently leveled up a little bit. Let's go back to Aor and try and find some answers. And that's their exit. I think that's their exit strategy. I think.
Yeah, that makes some sense.
Unless they die.
Because they did return, and then I guess they have a little purpose now. And apparently FCG and Frida are just fucking married overnight.
Yeah. Does Sam pull a Scanlan to Tarion, and FCG goes off with Frida into the sunset, and he brings out a new character?
Oh, could he do that?
Not again. I think that's a one-off. I don't think you do it again.
No, it'd be a little cheap if he did that again.
I feel like it would be too.
Yeah.
Okay, well, here's my last point, I think, from this episode is I got a problem. Here's my problem. Right after the break, Imogen and Chetney have a conversation, right, about where Imogen begins to realize how bad her mom broke.
Right.
And she's like, oh, fuck. She's starting to come to this realization in this conversation with Chetney about how, I don't think she's actually a good person. Maybe something actually happened to her. Maybe I'm going to have to take her down. And then Chet's like, insight check. I need to insight check this. And this is where I have the problem. They both get 13s. And so they go to rollies. And Chet gets a 3, Imogen gets a 16. This is not good. This is not a good way to resolve this thing. Specifically, rollies are great. I have no problem with rollies. But with an insight check, I don't think this is a good call. I think there should be, for an insight, my note is for insight or other important checks, the tie should be relevant. They should each get something from it, as opposed to Chetney rolls a 13, which is enough, in my opinion, that DC is enough to get something. But Imogen also gets a 13, which is enough to hide something. So they should, I don't know how to do this right. I came up with a bunch of different ideas where Chet gets a little tiny nugget of information from Imogen. Imogen gets to hide something from Chet, but also gets something from Chet. Or they get to have a little conversation about what their tells are. You see a little tell from me. You see a little this. I'm hiding something. I'm digging something. There should be a something, as opposed to, no, nothing. You don't get anything.
Yeah.
She hides it. He doesn't get anything. But they tied. There should be, in this situation, there should be something as opposed to nothing.
I agree with that. For an important check like that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. A couple of things.
Sure.
One.
I know there's holes in this. I'm just trying to work it out.
It puts a fair bit of pressure on them for coming up with something something just enough information to give them, because I don't know if they have that all mapped out, So that'd be a lot of pressure, but I wouldn't put it past them. They're pretty good at it.
Yep.
And two, she wasn't deceiving this time. She was telling the truth.
Maybe. We don't know, right?
Well,
the insight check is she prepared to take her mom out if the time comes?
Oh, so that's hard to read. That's right.
Yeah, so Chet wanted to know that.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a way that Laura could present to Travis that yes, Imogen does feel a certain something, but you're not quite sure. And Travis could actually say, yeah, and you see Chetney doubting that you are able to, or believing that you are able to. There could have been, it would have been an opportunity for there to be a fun little conversation, a meta conversation about it. I feel like that's sort of a something going for. Maybe it's my own personal thing. I'm like, I need to be thinking about that as a DM or as a player.
You can keep that in your games, and Matthew, we know you're watching. Yeah. What do you think? Get in touch, bud.
Well, I'm curious what other DMs would do in that situation too. Like, would you be like, hey, just because you tied in this situation doesn't mean that it isn't relevant. It isn't something that is important.
Yeah, especially with 13s, like what if they tied with natural 20s?
Right. That's also something. Or they tie with natural ones. Like the dice tell the story here, and a tie is an important part of the story, I think.
If you tie with a natural 1, I think rollies are fine. Or it's just like it's not important. Rollies, go ahead.
Well, what if they both like have colossal? Like, what did Ashley say? Fern's insight is plus 13. Like, if she gets a natural 20 and gets or let's say she gets a 10, which is a 23, and then Chetney, who maybe just for instance has a plus 3, he rolls a natural 20, which gives him a 23.
Right.
So what happens in that situation, right? Ties become important. So does the natural 20 trump the dirty 23, or I'm only saying for in terms of like an insight check where it could be important. There could be actual relevant information given or withheld. I don't know.
Yeah, then also if they tie, so they both get 13, whatever, and then when they do the rollies, one person gets a natural 20, another person gets a 4. Like, do you turn that 13 into a natural 20 now? You just both get advantage, or or whatever?
I don't know. It's an odd one, right? No, I don't know how to square that circle.
Lots of things to consider there,
Yep, it is.
I mean, rollies are great for us, but these are just there's no weight on these rolls.
That's right.
I've only got one thing left here.
Okay, good. Throw it out there.
Yeah, it's just we know now from the previous episode. I was a little confused why Frida was like, "I want to wake up now," because I was like, "Well, what's there to be scared of?"
Right.
And then this episode, it comes clear. It's like, "Oh, because he got feelings for somebody."
Yeah,
that's all that was.
Totally.
And
There was
that
a,
was fun to realize, you know.
yeah, I got that too. I was like, there it is. That's
Yeah,
why.
because of
That's why.
love.
Yep.
Lose of CG.
Or affection. I don't
Yeah.
know. We don't know. I mean, love is a strong word for this. It's
Yeah,
definitely
well,
a. It also, there's a little bit of cynic in me that goes like, there's a little desperation there. You know, there's a little bit of like, holy fuck, I'm alone in the world. Oh, I'm not alone in the world. I love you.
It's like that first girlfriend in college. It's like the first girl
Yeah.
to show you attention. You were
Yep.
gonna date, okay?
Yep. We're
Right?
gonna get married and have 4 kids.
Yeah, and some people do.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Yep. That's why divorce rates are so high.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, he's a guest. He's not gonna be
Yeah.
there that long, so he wants to make his stamp, you know, on there. So I get it. That's fine.
Totally.
All right.
Hey,
Well,
hey,
I'm
man,
out of points there, bud.
I'm out of points too. This was a lore-heavy episode with lots of interesting stuff that was said, and again, high humor throughout the entire thing. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just
no battle
I'm
at all.
No, I'm just chomping at the bit. I really, really, really want them to get through this shit and get to the meat of this stuff. I want to get, not that I'm not enjoying it because I am, but it's so
I'm a little worried about the next episode because well, not worried about the next episode. It's just they're going to be together for at least 2 more. I'm thinking
probably
because they're going to battle. That's going to take a half an episode. You know, they're going to be in there. They're going to find some other thing. There's probably 2 battles at least before they're finished.
Well, we have 1 more episode before the end of the month, right? So they'll be, presumably, they haven't said it yet, but presumably they'll be taking the next week off. There will be, so they'll have 1 more episode, then a week off, then we get into May for the first episode. So I'm still kind of holding on to that the next episode might be the last one with this group, and there might be some traumatic cliffhanger happen where we then go to the next group starting in May. But
I would like it if they, and I haven't noticed, and maybe they already do. I would like it if they would kind of cliffhanger every, 3rd episode where we have to wait 2 weeks.
yeah.
Because, I don't think they're really doing it. They're just like, all right, we'll see you next time. You know?
A few of them they've done some good fun cliffhangers with, but
it seemed coincidental, you know?
yeah. Well, it's tough to plan a cliffhanger, right? Like, because it's D&D. You don't know really what's going on. Like that was a big part of one of the things. Like you start realizing when the math sort of like, I've got the story I want to tell, but I'm also taking in the players' ability to be part of the story, and it becomes an episode, a 4-hour episode. You know, it's, you don't know where you're getting to.
Yeah, this one was pretty short, right? It was like 3.
It was
under
4. It was 350, I think, with the break and
that's
and
on
the
Twitch.
intro.
So that's
Yeah.
Take out the beginning, take out the middle.
Yeah.
It's fairly short. That's
What
like
was
3
it?
hours 20 minutes.
I can tell you right now.
Oh yeah, it's up
Have-
on.
It's up on YouTube.
Yeah,
It is 3 hours 35 minutes and 16 seconds.
3.5.
Yep.
Yeah, fairly short. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
There's just so much lore. It didn't seem to go that fast, you know.
No, it felt like the normal length of an episode. It just, like you said, it was definitely
I zoned out a lot for the the wardrobe section.
yeah. Yeah, it's
Just walking home
shopping.
with like what
Shopping episodes where they're, I'm gonna wear this. Fern's description of stuff was ridiculous. I'm like, I was like, Travis, I'm like, what are those words you just said? I don't even understand. Organza, merganzer,
Did you make
oregano?
it up?
I don't know what these things are.
I don't know what an organza is.
I know what a merganzer is. Merganzer is a duck, a flycatcher, Russian, or that's Muscovy.
Okay,
I don't know. Yeah,
I'll take your word for it.
sure.
Oh, all right. So we get one
Anyway.
more, and then
Then we get a break,
yeah,
and then we don't know what
anything
happens.
about a 4-sided dive yet either, do we? No. All right, cool. All right, well then let's wrap it up right there then. Right?
Yeah, man. I
Okay,
got some things. I got some people I got to go meet, and I got some things I got to do. So it'll be great.
I got some sleeping off my weekend. I got to do.
I hear you.
Didn't get a lot of sleep last night.
I don't remember what sleep is, man. It's just, I've been so busy.
You'll remember someday soon.
Someday when I get the big
Alright,
long,
so
big
what do
long
we do
sleep.
here? What do we do? We subscribe, we comment. That's what we do, right?
Yep.
Right down there. If we're talking bullshit, if we get something wrong, just get in touch right there. It's the best way to do it. You can find me on Instagram at drummatucka. I'll put that in there too. He's on there as well.
You can find me on Instagram at bengreenspoon.
Yeah, he doesn't have to try about his name. It's just that, right? With no period, no underscore. Yeah.
Literally Ben, Bengreenspoon. Ben Greenspoon.
You know, just like
I had nothing to hide, man. I got nothing to hide.
right. All right. Well, say hi to Lacey girl for me, and thank you very much. That was immediate. If nothing else, then don't forget to love each other. And is it finally Friday? Peace,
Hey.
everybody.
Peace.
Pew.